So hello everyone, and thank you for joining in for the third part of my tutorial series. So today we will have a look at two different cutting programs or video editing programs. One is the Adobe Premiere Pro and the other one is a free tool which is called Shotcut. In both I will just show you how you can import your videos, how you can cut your videos, and how you can then afterwards add your images, videos and graphics that you would like to include in your presentation. So let's start right into it. So I just created a relatively simple example project where we just see the basics. If you want to get deeper into the tools like Premiere Pro, there are numerous tutorials out there where you can learn all the tips and tricks. So today in this tutorial you will learn the simple steps you need to just get started with your online presentation, and I will also show you how to export it in the end in a decent quality. So the first thing you need to do is you just put all the videos and images you need for your final presentation into the folder. But it's also, you can edit this on the fly as well. So if you, for example, find out, oh, I need another image here, you can just drag it in here. So what we're doing in the beginning is we're just dragging our presentation video in here. So you see I recorded myself for an online presentation. And it's quite normal that in the beginning you, for example, walk into the frame or you need some time to prepare. So we can just start by cutting that out. So there is the first small hint. You could just press the C button and then you have this cutting tool. And what I'm doing is it's quite easy to cut where you actually place your slider here. So I'm just cutting here. And then the second trick is you can press the V button. And then you're in the selection mode again, and you can just delete that. And then you have this gap in the beginning that you might want to fill with an intro, but you can also just delete that. So what you can do here is press right click and then delete the dribble. So you see we're starting at the front. I can start my talk. And then, for example, as we said before, I have this blank space up here that we want to fill with, for example, an image or a video. So how do you do that? You see you have multiple video tracks here and audio tracks down here. So you can just take the image you want to show and place it on one of these tracks. And what happens is it's placed above your video that's on track 1. And in my example, it's way too large. So you have to make that smaller. So you can just go to Effects and you select that image. And then you can scale it here. So we're just scaling it down to the size we want to have it. And then you need to adjust the position. So we want to maybe move it just a bit left and a bit up. And then you see I have my image, and then I can talk about this image here, my video, and then it's gone again. And to make this smoother, the in and out, you just add a transition. So you can right click here and say standard transition X. And you see the standard transition moves it in, and we can do the same with moving out. And that's how you add an image to your video in the end. If you want to for example, place a diagram or something like that, which you would normally create in PowerPoint or in other tools, you can also do that. So we can have a quick look when you open up PowerPoint. I prepared something, so you could have a diagram like that you want to show in your image, in your video at the end. And which is quite simple, is don't save that as an image or something like that. You just need to select all the things you have on your slide and then do a right click and say save as graphics. So my menu here is in German, as I'm Austrian originally, but you can also, in English it's the same. It says then save as graphic here. And if you do that, you can then just import it to your Premiere Pro. So you see it here. What happens is you get a very nice transparent background and a very nice quality of this diagram in the end. So I can just drag it in as the next thing. Again, it's maybe too large, so we can adjust the size again like we did before and move it over. And what you can see here is now it's quite nice because the background is transparent. It doesn't matter if I walk into the image because you can still see everything. It looks quite natural if I point to something. And it's very easy to work with the tool. So you saw these are the major steps you need to do here. You can add images, you can also in the same way add a video here or add a diagram which we exported from PowerPoint, for example. And when you're finished with your video in the end, you want to export it in a decent format. So what you can do is you can press Ctrl and M. And now the export window is opened. You see overall we have 20 seconds of video here. And then you have some settings here on the side. So if you, for example, want to upload that to YouTube, you can just press here at template, and then you could say YouTube 180p, for example. So if you press that, you can see in the end how large your file will be, and you see all the settings that it took. For example, you can also see here it's at 50 frames per second, so that we can also change, for example, because there is some problem when you do 50 frames per second. It could be that you cannot watch it on some TVs. I had that problem in the past. So for example, we could put it here to 25 or 24 frames per second, which is a standard setting. Then for some conferences, it could also happen that they restrict the size of your file in the end. So I had that also once, and how you can deal with that is you see here the estimated size of the file in the end, and this, as we are only having a really small video as of now, we only have 40 megabytes here. But for example, if you have 10 or 15 minutes of video, it can go up to over 1 gigabyte. And in my example, I had to restrict it to 200 megabytes. So how you do that is you go here to the video tab and then you scroll down, and then you see here the encoding. And here you can just move the slider down and you see the megabytes will be adapted. And with that you can then limit the file size without losing too much quality. Yeah, and in the end we just export the whole thing and you have your finished online presentation that you can hand in to the conference, or you could also upload to YouTube. So that's how we do it in Premiere Pro. And now on to Shotcut. So now I show you the same with the tool called Shotcut, which is an open source and free tool you can use also for video editing. So you see in the tool I also have my playlist, I have my stuff in there that I want to cut, and the first thing we're just dragging in our video file that we recorded. So you see it's the same video file as we had before in Premiere Pro. And then I can again go just to the position where I want to start the video and press this tool. There is another keyboard setting here, so you just need to press S in order to cut it apart, and then you can select the one thing you want to remove and press delete on your keyboard, and then you can also remove this part at the beginning we don't need anymore. So it's quite similar, and for example we want to add now again an image. So we can just press this thing here and then say add video track. So we have another video track here at the top. And in this video track we can then add, for example, the same image as we had before in Premiere Pro. So you see I'm adding it here, and you see again it's too big, so I can, in this tool you need to go to filters then, and then you say size and position. So you actually have this frame, which is quite useful, so you can just make it smaller and drag it where you want to have it in here. I'm quite sure that's maybe also possible in Premiere Pro, but there I have the feeling with the settings, with the sliders, I'm quicker. But you see here, I don't have the same options as I have in Premiere Pro, so it's easier to just size it here and then drag it where you want it. And then if you want to let it fade in and out again, as you had it in Premiere Pro, you can also add filters, which is called video fade in. And then we can also say fade out. Fade out video. Didn't take it, so fade out video. Yeah, and now you see this black triangle, so that tells us it will fade in, and then at the end it will fade out again.
Let's start right.
And we can also do the same as we had before with our diagram. So I'm just dragging the diagram in here. It's too big again, so I will just say it's again size and position, and then I can drag it to the place where I want it. So you see also in Shotcut, these like simple things are quite similar to work with. It's less powerful when it comes to video effects, and stuff like that. Their Premiere Pro and Adobe After Effects is quite powerful. And with the Adobe products, you also have more tutorials and more help on the web. But on the other side, this tool is for free, so it's also, we can see overall in this tutorial series, I want to show you different ways how you can create an engaging online presentation. And when you just do it, for example, with your phone and then with another free editing tool, it's quite feasible that many people can do it. So in the end, of course, we also want to export to video. So here it's not Control M, it's Control E. And then you see that menu popping up for exporting. You can press Advanced here and can also put some settings in here. Say I want MP4 resolution, frames per second and stuff like that. And then you would just press Export Fine. So here we already have the first thing that is different to Premiere Pro. It doesn't tell you how big it will be in the end. So if you have size restrictions, you need to play around with these settings and then find out how to get to your to the size you need. So this is how you can work with your files then in this free tool called Shotcut. And this also brings us to the end of this 3-part tutorial series. I hope you enjoyed following the tutorials. If you have any recommendations or comments or questions, just put them in the comments below. I hope this helps you to create engaging and more powerful online presentations or online conference talks. I hope to see you soon again. Bye.